All right, good morning, everybody. It's 10:01, so we'll go ahead and get started. Special thank you to our panelists today, Chrissy, Sarah, and Jessica. I appreciate you all pouring into our agents. We're going to have a really great conversation about social media marketing and, more importantly, what content people actually tune into and how to drive engagement. So I just want to start by giving all of you an opportunity to meet our panelists. So if we can just go around and tell us who you are, how long you've been in business, a little tidbit about yourself. Chrissy, you want to start us off?
Sure. Hey everyone, I'm going in my 5th year in real estate. Been at Keller Williams, going to be going on 2 years, so it's going great. And social media is just one of the better things to use because most of it is free. The only thing it costs is your time. So I look forward to telling you guys more about what I do and how it gets me more business.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Riordan. I am also in my 5th year of selling real estate. I've been with Keller Williams from the beginning, and I'm just really thankful and humbled to be here to share with you guys how I use social media to really stay in front of all of my sphere.
I'm Jessica Hinnawi. I just came to KW like 3 weeks ago, and I've been in real estate for 5.5 years. And I love social media. It's helped change my business the last year.
Perfect. Thank you. So I want to just start talking about what social media channels are you guys using at a high level, and are you just focusing on 1 or 2 primary channels? Why did you choose those specific ones? What are you guys really focusing on with your social media?
Sure, I'll start. So I primarily use Facebook and Instagram. I haven't really dabbled in the TikTok world or Twitter, but Facebook has really been an important platform that I think almost everybody has been on for a decade or more now. And that's going to be your platform that has your largest following. And for me, and I say that because over the years, I feel like my social media has also kind of shifted as I pay attention to it, like who my followers are on Facebook and who my followers are on Instagram. But Facebook is primarily my immediate sphere and our immediate family. And then Instagram seems to be a little bit more of your highlight reel and your followers that just want to kind of take a glimpse at where your life is, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and a little bit more of the fun stuff. And Facebook seems to be a little bit more of the consistent business end of it.
I'll piggyback off of her. I also, Facebook is my main one. It's where my biggest following is. But along with my personal page, I have my business page, which is actually now my team page. So I post consistently to that and then share most of it on my personal page. I try to keep it 50% personal, 50% business. Instagram is also another one. I also do a lot on Snapchat as I'm at showings, just to let people know what I'm doing, because I have a different following on Snapchat than I do Facebook and Instagram. And I think I get more millennial buyers interested going through the Snapchat way. We are getting into TikTok and YouTube. I'm just not one fan for videos, so I'm trying to get over my fear of that. But those are really taking off, and you can do them pretty funny. And it's really you, and that's what people really want to see. They don't just want to see the professional side of you, they want to see the real side of you. So, and LinkedIn too as the business side, but my following on LinkedIn is way different than my Facebook side, considering the job that I have previous to this one. It's a great network that I have. They're all business owners, CEOs from everywhere, but it's just a little different. So I have to gear my content to what they're used to. So, but everything from when I started has really grown, and I just get so much so much more comments and likes, and the way I post things too.
I'm actually the opposite of both. I have a business Facebook page that only has like 300 followers on it, mostly family and friends, and not a ton of people that I don't know. I do share what I post on my business page to my personal page, but I do keep separation because I don't like to put my kids on my public page. So that's just a personal choice. But I do get a lot more interaction, and I have a lot more followers on Instagram. And I think that just tends to be where more people my age are, and where the people that I kind of like vibe with are more often. I do post like once in a while on LinkedIn, but not a lot. Just Instagram and Facebook, whatever I post on my Instagram feeds into my business Facebook page, but way more interaction on my Instagram.
Yeah, so Chrissy touched on this, like what kind of balance are you guys keeping between your personal and your business pages? You know, like how are you balancing it so that you're not just 100% real estate on your personal page and then people just like stop following you? You know, like what's the formula? What's the secret?
I don't post. I share whatever I post on my business page to my personal pages on Instagram and Facebook, but I don't actually post anything business related on my personal page. And that's just a choice. Like I said, I only have like 200 followers there. It's mostly just like close family and friends. And so that's not a concern to me. Now on my public page, which is my business profile, I share what I do in my stories a lot and talk a lot about just like being a mom, and like I share recipes and cleaning hacks and all those things. So that's like my personal side, but I don't actually also post on that a ton of like personal stuff, except for if it relates to my business or something that I'm doing in the near future, like an event I went to or something like that.
I post, it's like 50-50, just because I share on my business page, usually to my personal page. But certain things I post on my business page and I don't share it, then I repost it on my personal page and I make it as public. So if people are looking me up, they can see those public posts that I've done, and they're like, oh yeah, she's in real estate. But a lot of things I do in real time, like my stories, because everybody on Facebook, well, at least from what I find, some people just scroll and some people totally just look at stories. And I like to do a lot of like this or that or polls, because that gets people to engage rather than, oh yeah, she sold another house, big whoopee, you know, great, she got paid, versus like this or that, like my big one, iPhone versus Android phone. And I put it on the personal side, and then I also put it on the story, because not everybody likes to comment that everybody gets to see everyone's comment, but on your story you get to see it. And like if I do this or that, where it's like do like a natural fireplace or a gas fireplace, the response I get on it is hilarious. And I kind of have a notebook of notes of who likes what. So eventually when someone becomes a client of yours, you kind of already know what they like and don't like in their next house. One girl actually messaged me. She's like, you pretty much know the kind of house I really want for my next one. I'm like, yep, I do. So just funny little things. But I don't always make it about real estate either. This or that, like, what was the other one I did? It was like a vacation one. And it's where would you want a vacation? So people realize, you know, you're not just all about real estate, that you want to know the personal side of you, and you build up that trust and relationship between them that's on the personal and business side.
That's really smart. I like those polls. So I would say that my social media is similar, 50-50. A lot of my Facebook tends to be a little bit more personal, mostly too because, like I said before, it's a lot of family. So I know that the family side of it craves a lot more of what we have going on, my husband and I and our daughter, what's going on with us, our family. our house renovations. So a lot of my content tends to be a good mixture of personal and real estate. So one of my factors with just like my sphere in general is trying to be in front of people and always being top of mind. We talk about that a lot in real estate, kind of being like the secret to business, knowing that it's always about the long game and the end game and not necessarily about who needs to buy a house today or right now, or who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest, right? Like that's ingrained in our mind to constantly be thinking about. But I was actually thinking about this yesterday, and I don't think that I ever ask for business on my social media. It's always about how can I help you today? So I like the polls too, or the quizzes. I call it my like real estate resources, and I put them on my Instagram highlights. So anybody can always filter back to like, oh, I remember Sarah was talking about duct work after her renovation. She had her ducts cleaned. Who did she use? Who did she talk about? So they can always reference back to those from my story highlights. And anytime I talk about contractors or just any sort of like referral partner, that seems to get a lot of engagement. And that engagement is so important with not only future clients, but I actually have a lot of realtors reach out. They're like, who do you use? Oh my gosh, Solid Foundation. I saw you're working with them on your flip. I think, Jessica, you messaged me that. So it's like, even just those connections are huge, not only with future clients or current clients or even past clients, because we always want to be top of mind with past clients too. I'm really finding that engaging with other realtors in this market where we're all competing for probably the same house in West Dallas or wherever our clients are shopping. If I already have a relationship with that agent and I can call them, I can text them, or I can DM them on Instagram, they are thinking of me when that offer comes into their inbox. So I think that communicating on social media too has been a real game changer.
Mhm.
I actually wanted to add on that. So I also do like a ton of polls and interaction. And I find that like everybody likes the funny ones. And I just do like a vacation one too. Like, what do you prefer, adventurous or relaxing? And I'm like, I love the spa. Like, I don't want to go on a hike. And so that just creates conversations with people. And once in a while, I do post like, what do you want to see on my page? Which really helps me because I can gauge what my followers really want to see. Do you want to see more of what I'm selling, or do you want more tips and tricks? And I just find that most of the people that follow me want value. And if they're not buying a house now, they're buying a house in the future, or they're renovating a house, or they're like friend or aunt is buying a house soon. And so it's the more value I give them and the more that I just add to their life, whether it's just real estate or just cleaning tips or whatever, the more they're going to trust me and come back to me. So I always do those polls to see what they want. And then I try to like gauge myself that way. If they want to hear about new builds, I'll talk about new builds more. Or if they're all buyers, I'll talk about buying more. And also the nice thing about those polls is I can see what they posted and I can message them directly and say, hey, you know, did you see this house? Or if you're thinking about buying, I have a future homeowner guide that I can send you that so that you can prepare yourself financially. So it gives me something to talk to that person who interacted on my poll about, not just look at what they said.
I love that. I think that's all like really great content that most people probably don't really think about, right? We just naturally as realtors want to post like our listings and our closings and listings and closings and then more listings and more closings. But it's really all about being more present at a higher level and building the relationships, right? So and you guys all kind of touched on this. Do you have any more like deep diving about how to really build those connected relationships with people through your social media to an extent that they pick up the phone and call you when they need a realtor?
I mean, I had yesterday 2 people message me that said like, hey, sorry, this is like out of the blue, but we're thinking about buying a house soon. and I don't know if you work in our area. And they were like, in Cedarburg. And I was like, yeah, of course I can help you in Cedarburg. I mean, if it's too far, I'll tell you. But they just started like randomly chatting with me, and she said she's been following me for a while, and I will like comment. So one thing I wanted to touch on is when I post something, I go and comment on other people's pages before and after. And I also go back and I like heart every comment on my previous post. So that just makes them like look back at your page, and that I just respond to everybody's comments and interact with them. And I had been interacting with her over, I guess, some time period, but I didn't really even notice. And she had been noticing and felt comfortable enough to just randomly reach out. And then last night, another agent, like an hour away, is sending me a referral in Oak Creek because she knows I live here and she follows me and she has a relationship with me just on Instagram, and I never met her in person even. So it's just important to just keep talking to people and interacting with them, giving them back what they give you. And it just tends to pay off, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll also add with, don't, like they say, post and ghost, comment and like your own posts, because and then especially I always every morning go through my Facebook, Instagram, and like people's stuff, because they get notification that you're liking it, so you're top of mind again. Another thing an agent and my team and I have been doing lately is we pick a spotlight, like a local business, and try to spotlight them, highlight them once a week. Lately it's kind of slacking, but and the nice thing with that is we find a local company, we go and we talk to the owner, we do it's like a 30-second video of the location, and they end up liking, following, and then they share our video on their Facebook page. And like this jewelry store, I mean, we've got a bunch of good ideas, and it now, like, we grew faster because they shared it to their 7,000 followers. And it just goes so far. The more you comment, like I said, like they say, don't post and ghost, because if you're just posting and not even liking or doing your own comments, they're just going to sit there and they're not going to go anywhere besides your own feed, and people are going to pass by them. But we've seen a lot of turnover in our posts on that, and getting a lot more communication, and getting in line with business owners that are local. When they're thinking about selling or buying too, they're going to think of you because you've shared their business, so they want to help you in your business.
That's so great. That's a really smart way to be in the community, be involved, get in front of new followers, and then tag them and have them share it. One thing I was going to point out too is this is lead generation. Think of this as, because social media is time consuming. It's a little time consuming and you have to commit, but going to a community, like you just said, coffee shop, jewelry shop, whatever it is, like that's lead generating, and that's getting you connected with more people that are not, also people that are not in your phone. You didn't have to cold call them, and that's free. All that takes is a little bit of your time. You maybe spend 2 hours out of your morning creating that content and then sharing it, but that's fantastic. And that's more engagement than you can get by just sitting, scrolling, and liking somebody else's, Instagram feeds. That's really easy for us to do at 6 p.m. when we're sitting on the couch during commercials or whatever it is. That's fantastic. I really like that. One thing that I always do too, with clients' permission, because clients like to share their successes too, is tag them. When you're putting your coming soon posts, when you're putting your sold, whatever it is, they are absolutely going to then share the content that you put out there. And that's going to open them up to referrals, successes. Hey, who was your realtor? Did you like them? Easiest way to share your name.
Great. So like, how do you brainstorm all this content? Because you guys throw a lot out there, right? And you're all doing all different content. So do you have a system in place? What does that really look like for you guys?
I can start on this one.
Go ahead.
I do get some of my content from curated social and agent crate. It's super cheap. It's like $20 a month. Those are content I get that I sit, well, I used to, now my daughter actually does it for me, but I sit like on Sunday and take an hour and a half and just generate all those posts and schedule them. So like I don't have to worry about it throughout the week. But then throughout the week, as I'm out and about snapping pictures of all different things throughout the time, then just putting posts in between there. So, and yeah, sometimes it's like, what should you post? You know, stalk other people's pages too. See what kind of comments and like they're getting. I mean, don't recreate the wheel. Just do what everyone's doing and just take your own spin on it. You know, recreate it. If you don't use Canva, you're missing a lot. Canva is like the best tool out there for creating. I mean, they have so many templates. You can just pretty much put your own logo on there and your picture and you're good to go, and it's done in 2 seconds. But that's kind of how I gauge this, at least have scheduled one a week, one each day of the week, and then add in throughout the week as I'm different things. And but at least it's the start of something, and then it gets you on a schedule.
So I use a similar type of program and style. I use Modern Age and Social Club, which I love. It's a content creation program. And also they educate you a ton. There's weekly sessions on how to grow yourself and how to interact with your followers and all of that. But every month I get a batch of content that's like comes with branded images that only people that are members of the social club can use. And I take that content and I sort of personalize all of it in Canva and try to make it sound like me. They provide you also captions and stuff. I won't even lie. It's a great source. I used to try to think of everything myself, and it took too much time away from myself, my clients, and my family. So I take all of her captions, make them sound like me, edit them so that it fits my business, my brand, my clients, and plug in, you know, pictures of myself or use the pictures they provide, throw my logo on. And I don't schedule posts. I post them as they apply to my life and as they apply to my business. So I know I have these posts in my head. So as I'm going through a transaction or at a showing and I see something, or I have a conversation with somebody, that's when I'll say, okay, I'm going to post this now. And I try to post something and then share it to my story and then talk about it. So I've been really bad at it lately, but face to camera anytime. Talk about what you posted, expand on it. The more your face shows, the more trust you create. And yeah, so I'll post about stuff that I have prepared from the beginning of the month, but I do not schedule. And also I try to plan reels, which are interesting. But I'll try to take stuff that I was going to post about, and instead of just posting a stagnant image, I will try to post something funny. And those reels for me tend to create way more interaction than any post I've ever done. And people like them and they share them. And I try to tag companies in them and things that are involved in whatever the reel is or post is, and they will share it also usually.
Those are fun. I do not schedule out my posts either. Everything tends to be a little bit more organic. I do have an idea of what I want to post throughout the week, and you kind of have to come up with that secret sauce to not over posting. One thing to pay attention to, if your Instagram is not set up as a business account, you cannot see like the insights, when people are looking, how many people are looking. You can down to see, like if you post 4 different stories, you can see that 200 people saw this one, 197 saw this one, and then suddenly they swiped and they got disengaged and you only have 140. You can see like when you started to lose followers, when you started to lose their content there. So business pages are really important to follow the psychology and the mindset of where your followers are and what's important to them. And then I've never heard of either of those websites that you two are using. That's really interesting to kind of help you with content. But I did a couple of years ago find myself on kind of like a content generator called Ladies of Real Estate. And that was a similar scenario where it was like a $20 subscription a month. They gave you really cute posts. They actually had like a logo creator. They would give you the content, the whole bit. I really liked it and I used a lot of it and I saved a lot of it too, but I ended up kind of getting away from it as my business grew and I almost outgrew the content. But I would kind of take breaks and I actually just like 6 months ago popped back on it to see if it was going to be helpful for me. But that is a great tool. Any of those websites, I'm sure that they're going to all be the same for newer agents that maybe feel like I'm just not good at social media and I would rather leverage it. It's the easiest way to leverage it. They have videos, YouTube content to teach you how to schedule posts. Because some of you may even be wondering, what are you talking about scheduling these? It's like a whole nother app application to it. And let me tell you, I feel like I am not good at social media a lot because there is a lot to it and you have to dedicate a little bit of time on the back end to get it prepared for the week. But those websites are pretty low cost and will give you all of that content. It's pretty, it'll teach you what reels are trending. It'll tell you all about that. I remember just a couple months ago when I would sit and watch reels, I would be like, what's the secret here? The secret is to pay attention to if they're trending or not. And then you can kind of use that audio and then work with your hashtags. I think this website that I was on even taught you like which hashtags were better because it was just curated for real estate. Now, boys, I apologize. It's a little more girly because it's called the Ladies of Real Estate, but some of it was still really mainstreamed that you could potentially use. And I think you can use it. I think the first month is free. So I think leveraging some social media, if you feel like it's not your strong suit, is really important. And that might be a little bit more important to even commit to for like 6 months until you really figure out, like I said, I ended up kind of weaning off of it as I got my bearings and just kind of my consistency, but something is going to be better than nothing.
I just wanted to go off what you said about the creator account. So everybody should be having have a creator or business account and select like real estate agent as what you are. And also make sure that your bio is clear and concise. You know, who you are, what you do, how you do it, where to find you, and give them all of that information right off the bat. That's going to help you and it's going to help your followers find you. And then use your insights that you get from the creator account. You can open up and see in general your page, when you get your followers, where they live, what gender they are, their age group, and then you can also see what times they're the most active. So my followers are really active around like 9, noon, and like 6, and then like at 10 o'clock at night. So that's when my followers tend to be the most active. They're usually, mine are between like 25 to like 45 years old is like my biggest age range. So I know who I'm targeting, what times to post, and what times they're going to be active to interact with me so that my posts go in the top of their feed when they're actually active. So yeah, definitely take advantage of the creator account and all of the insights that it provides. And it also can show you each post. If you click the insights for it, it shows you how many times it's been shared or saved. And that shows you, did they really like this? You know, it wasn't, they didn't just like it, they sent it to somebody or they saved it for later. That's what you need to be sharing. Elaborate on that and do more of that.
Yeah, a lot of our posts, we almost work backwards on. You have to pay attention to how they performed.
And learn, like, this won't happen overnight. It will take time for you to generate. So if you're posting stuff and people are not commenting or liking, don't take it personal. They're just not there yet. They're still building up your trust. That's why I throw a funny one in now and then, because then they start laughing. I'm like, oh, then they start liking it. But yeah, it does take time to get it generated. Like I said, does not happen overnight. So don't get yourself down on it that you're like not doing the right thing, because then it'll start building up and then you're getting more followers and be much happier. But that's just my 2 cents on that part.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't stress out about it. So I've been in real estate for 5 years, like I said, but my husband joined at the first of the year. This year he joined me. So now we're like a husband and wife team. And we've noticed, because I'll share things, my following is much more, they know what they're going to get. They know the business, they know the renovations, they know what they're going to see. They like the content. So he started sharing some of it, and his insights are very different. Like his followers are not my followers, even though they are probably a lot of the same. But we're really starting to see that he's not performing as well with like the renovations like I do. So you have to really pay attention to and give the people what they want.
Mhm.
That's great. That's really smart. To shift a little bit, when it comes to building your brand, right? Because you guys all have unique brands, you have your own logos and your colors and your fonts and your flavors. You know, are you carrying through a lot of that branding through your posts, even personal posts?
Yeah. I tend to have everything being the same, 5, 6 colors. I use the same fonts. I use my logo everywhere. I have branding photos done yearly that fit my brand. And so mine tends to be like more beige, like light pinks, just very neutral colors. And so that my brand literally resonates through me. I wear those colors naturally. It's just something that comes to me very naturally. And so I think that's very important as you're creating your brand. Pick the things that you really love, and that's going to resonate with you. And it's going to be easy to carry your brand throughout everything. So it's super consistent everywhere for me, from my social media to my buyer boot camps and products that I like, pamphlets and stuff that I give to my clients. Everything is super consistent. It's all the same fonts, colors, style, types of language that I'm using. Like everything is exactly the same. So it's me if you see those colors. That's the key, is I want to be in their mind. So when they see that beige house, they like, think of me.
My brand is the same. So we just recently went through a rebranding, and we have new logo. We actually have a couple logos. We now have a color palette. We have fonts that we use, and it's become the same, where everything has now been remade. Our pamphlets, our signs, our riders, everything is cohesive, and it translates into our social media, but we don't overuse it. I don't put a watermark on everything unless it's a listing or a coming soon. Unless I'm really advertising real estate, it's not quite there. I do like that you mentioned that like your colors are even where you gravitate in your wardrobe, because that's actually really true with my brand as well. And I didn't realize that I gravitated so much to it. But yeah, it needs to really reflect you. And I think that the more comfortable and the more personable your brand is, the more consistent and easy you just realize it translates.
Yeah, same way, just keeping it all consistent so that when they're seeing you online and they're seeing your sign out in the yard, they know you're the same thing, and it's not like, oh, that's somebody different or something, is this really, am I really at the right place that I saw online? I do usually put our logo on even all our images, just so that if someone is trying to screenshot it and use it too, our logo stays with it and that they know where it came from. But yeah, we try to stay consistent. We sometimes change up the way our posts look a little bit sometimes, because I'm like, this looks a little boring to me now. But I don't do anything, a drastic change. It's a slow change into something different. So there's never a really big, who is this now versus what we were.
Okay, great. So let's talk about videos. Are you guys incorporating videos into your social media? If so, what kind of videos? Really, because I know that's kind of the wave of the future, right? We've moved from static posts into videos with TikTok and Reels and stories and everything else. So how are you really incorporating those videos into your social media?
I do a lot of reels, and that just tends to do the best for me. I did after like one of the Zooms 2 weeks ago, Harrison, the realtor that was talking to us, mentioned doing videos and educating people. So I am giving that a shot. And I did one last week where I just sat here and talked about like one subject. It didn't get as much interaction that I really wanted it to get. But I'm going to keep trying it and see if people save it. And I'm saving, anytime I do videos where I either go live and then save the video or just record a video and share it as a post, I also lump them into in Instagram as a guide if they are all related to each other. So if I'm talking about home buying process in multiple videos, I will select those videos and create a guide. So when somebody goes on my Instagram and they go under my guides, they'll see that like I have a few videos about home buying, or a few posts about this home buying process, or here's a bunch of videos Jessica posted about renovating her house, or cleaning tips that she talked about, or selling her house tips about that. So they have somewhere to go that has all these videos in one spot. And obviously I save everything to my highlights also, but that's more like stories and stuff.
Like I said, I have my fear of videos, but I'm getting over that, just because we've started our YouTube channel, and our team has started, you know how Charlie always gives us the grocery store script? Well, we literally took it to the grocery store and we're doing videos on it a couple weeks ago. It's pretty comical because there was people shopping, just trying to get around that. But I found an editing software to actually make it all work. And so we're in the process of getting them all to be published. But yeah, it's something we have to get better at. But like our Facebook lives, they go really good. And I always save those, and those are going to go on our YouTube channel. Open house, lives too. We try to do those. Everyone on my team kind of has been doing them lately too. And it just gauges more followers. But yeah, we need to get better at it because videos is where it is. So I've learned to just now video it and I just go with it. I don't care. I don't technically watch it again because I don't like to see myself, but it's where you get a lot more traction right now.
I'm the exact same way. I always shy away from a video with my face in it, which is horrible, especially because we all know that it's more personable, it's more relatable. People like to see us, and it always shows more engagement. But I too don't know why I get shy. I made a reel the other day in my bathroom, and my husband would not stop laughing at me because I think it took me 12 times to just spin in a circle. Like, it's so silly, but I don't know why you get self-conscious about it. And which is really funny too, because I'm not that type of person that will, like, a friend will take a picture of me and I'll be like, I hate that, don't post that. I'm super easygoing in that way, but videos just do something else to you. And same, I need to just get over it. But I really like reels. Reels are really fun. They get a lot of engagement. If you use your hashtags right as well, you're going to also get beyond who's currently following you. And that's probably, reels are the way to gain more followers at this point too. So if you're really paying attention to who's on these hashtags, how many people are seeing it, who's viewing it, really funny. One of my reels that has like over 10,000 views is my daughter aggressively doing her makeup. I don't know why. I think it did really well because there was a Taylor Swift song to it. But now those people hopefully are following me and they can see a little bit more of my real estate content. One thing that I follow on my algorithm with Instagram is a lot of design, renovating, DIY. All of those hashtags are already kind of incorporated in my algorithm. So I pay attention to what other influencers are posting. And then, like we said before, don't recreate the wheel, copy them. What are they doing? How did they film that video? You'll also see, if you pay attention, watch reels long enough, you'll come across ones that are like legit tutorials. They'll teach you how to make them go fast, how to make them go slow, how to put them to music. Takes a lot of time, but they always perform really well. And if you do them well, people share them. So it's, again, just creating fun content, getting in front of the camera, like we all know we need to do. But once they put a face to your brand and your business too, it'll pay off. So here I am pep talking myself to probably make a video after this.
So every time I record a reel, my husband and my kids like, I mean, they're just laughing at me like, you look so dumb. And I'm like, watch, this is going to be a good reel because I look silly. And that's literally what it is. I mean, the other day we were driving to like the water park and I recorded a goofy one, like, I can share it, but I was like saying, oh, look at all the nice houses. Like we have, how come everyone else has money and we're poor? And it was just and then I put a caption about how buyers are not winning their offers and all of that. And my husband was giving me the dirtiest look while I was recording it, but it was like one of my best performing reels. I think it had like 40 shares and saves. It was the craziest thing, but that's all it is. I mean, just like, who cares? Just record it and be funny and move on.
I think too, the more that your personality actually translates in it and you don't just look like a stale realtor, the better. But at least
I do want to share a tip about hashtags though, because you mentioned it. So if you have an iPhone and so first of all, find hashtags that apply to you, create your own hashtag and use it in every single post so somebody can find you from that hashtag specifically. And then once you have, a few hashtags that have like a lot of followers and then a few that are more niche down for you, more local, take those hashtags and go in your iPhone and go under general keyboard, and then you can create a shortcut. And so put all of your hashtags in there that you would use, for example, for something more personal, name it home or whatever. And then use one for real estate. I do like RE caption, another one like IG hash, that's like more trending stuff. And then in my shortcut, I'll write all my captions. And so now if I want to put those captions in there, all I have to start doing is type RE hash or RE caption, and it just pops up all the captions for me. So you can save the shortcut. If anyone needs that, let me know. I can send you the info, but it really is helpful. And then you have all your prime hashtags saved in different shortcuts, and then you can just pop them in there. Super easy.
I think I just learned something.
I'll send you how to do it.
So if I was a brand new agent to real estate and I don't, I'm on social media, but as the consumer, right? So I'm the one who's scrolling and clicking and liking constantly. What is something that I should do today to just start that presence as a realtor?
Just start posting, like whether you think it's good or not, just get it out there. And when you get people that are commenting or liking it, like you can comment to them or you can private message them, say, hey, thanks for the comments, you're helping me grow my business. I did that a while ago as I sent out little thank you cards, mostly my friends and family, with a lottery ticket in there saying, hey, thanks for helping me grow my business, for liking and sharing all my Facebook and Instagram things. They got a big kick out of it. They're still doing it, and it cost me $1 a person. But just don't be afraid to do it. Just start doing it. And if you post something and you really hate it, you can delete it. Like yes, it's out there, but it can come down as fast as you put it up. So, and you can always edit a post if you have a typo or you forgot something. So just don't be afraid of it and just start doing it.
When I first started using my Instagram, I shared other people's stuff a lot in my posts. So for example, I would screenshot, a few kitchens that I really loved, tag those people and give them credit in my post, and then ask my followers, like, which kitchen do you like more? And that like created some interactions and stuff like that. So that's always okay to do, as long as you give credit to the people who took the picture or designed the house or whatever you're sharing. That's also like a good way, leverage other people and their following and their content and share it.
Yeah, I think Chrissy said that she does the like this or that interaction, which is, that's other people's content. That's fantastic. That's easy to share. It's real estate related. I was going to say too, introducing yourself is huge. Just getting on your platforms and telling people why real estate, you're excited for it, you're energized. Why are you here? You're here to help people find their forever homes. That way too, people can really connect with you and connect with your motivation for the business that you're building. And it's good too to even reintroduce yourself too. So when we just did our rebrand a couple months ago, we had a whole post about reintroducing ourselves. Here's our rebrand. What do we bring to the table? What are we here to help you with? And then, you know, find the trendy music to it. And soon friends and family will want to share that too. If you're new, they're going to want to share what your new adventure is.
Mhm.
Great. Can you guys put your Instagram handles in the chat for us so that people can follow you? Because I know they're all probably sitting there like, oh, I need to look them up. And then as you do that, what other like tips and tricks do you have for these social media platforms, you know, Facebook or Instagram or Google or LinkedIn, you know, what tips and tricks do you guys have?
One thing that we shared, we touched base on briefly, was Canva. Canva is huge. It's a huge resource to use. Once you've kind of created your templates, you can just edit them off and that'll help with your consistency. Scheduling things is going to be really huge, and just leveraging those contents, using those websites that the girls talked about is going to be really helpful, and sharing other people's content. If you want to even just share other agents in the office with their permission, everybody loves for their content to be shared. Just because I have a new listing, I want your followers to see that listing. Maybe you have a buyer that you didn't even know about. So that's all really good content and tips to just, when you feel like you don't have something to share, or you don't have any showings that you can kind of show off, share content, like people's content, engage with people. It's going to be the easiest way to just be active without being overbearing.
Mhm.
So somebody did put a question in the chat for us. It is, did you say to create a business account for Facebook or post on your regular page? I have so many Facebook friends on my regular page, but not many on my business page. What would you guys advise?
Well, you can always, one of your posts on your personal page is, can you please comment or like and share my business page, and share your own business page through your personal page as well. We've done, when we did our Facebook lives, I've done, like, it was a toy store, and then I bought a $20 gift card and I made it into a contest saying, by Friday, if you have commented, liked, or shared our post, your name gets entered for every time into winning the gift certificate. We've done that for 2 coffee shops, a candy store, and a toy store. And more people then did that. They like, commented, and shared, which brought more followers, and then somebody won the gift card at the end. So it was, because you're trying to ask them for something, you're also going to possibly give them something too.
Yeah, I've done stuff like that too, and I also find it gets a lot of interaction and people really love it. And I'm not from here originally. I'm from New York, and so I don't know a lot of people organically like myself. I didn't have a job prior to real estate, so I had to kind of start from the ground up. And I found that connecting with other businesses, like local businesses, and doing giveaways together or events together or events at their business, it just really helps me. I did one this past weekend at Dry Bar, and a local baker who I became friends with on Instagram and used for my daughter's birthday cake. I asked her if she'd want to donate some cupcakes and advertise for herself at the event. She agreed. And so she donated some cupcakes. I sat at Dry Bar and brought champagne, talked to a bunch of people, and had something to provide them of valuable information. So I had my 12-month homeowner checklist that I could give them something. And instead of giving it to them physically, I made them give me their email address. So I didn't get a ton, but I think I left with 7 new emails that I didn't have before. So for me, for 2.5 hours, that was worth it. You know, I got 7 emails of people that I never talked to before that now know who I am. And I handed out my business card to like 100 people. So that was good. And then the person, Dry Bar, shared my posts, and then the baker shared my posts. And so now their followers are seeing my content also. And I just find that, like, yeah, teaming up with local people is the way to go.
Great. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I have a question. So for Instagram, you guys mentioned that you used a business account. Do you guys also have a personal that you post to, or strictly business?
I have
Mine
both.
is completely separate.
Okay. So a little mixture. And then for Canva, this might be a Kathleen question. Does Keller Williams have a Canva account?
No, we do not.
Okay.
What Keller Williams has is the designs that are in command.
Oh, right.
All the
Okay.
templates you can use in there.
Okay.
There is a free version of Canva. Just know
Right.
that it's pretty limited.
Right. Okay. So do you guys all pay for Canva then?
No, I use the free. It takes like 10 seconds longer because I have to type my brand colors in, or here's a trick. Also, save your brand colors, like your 5 brand colors, and as like an image. And then every time you open Canva, just plug that image in, and then your colors will pop up in the corner that are in the slide. So Canva automatically detects whatever colors are in the slide, and it will give you those colors. And then I have my logo saved in there, and I just pop everything in. Once you start, like I mentioned, I customize content that's given to me from this program that I use. Once I start to change the fonts, Canva recognizes it and asks me, do you want to change all of the fonts to Prada that are Galactica? And I just say, yes, change all. And it just changes them over me. And so you can do it for free. I mean, I probably should start paying for it, but I don't know. I'm fine.
I do pay for it. It's only $12.95, so it's not like it's horrible.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's well worth it.
And then my last question is for your guys' personal accounts. If you do post anything real estate, is your personal account public then?
Just that post I do is public. But then personal stuff is filtered just to friends and family or.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same. My Instagram, anything that I share from my public business Instagram, I share it to the story to my private page, but nobody can see that who's not my friend. On my Facebook, whenever I share from my business Facebook page onto my personal, I do leave those posts public. So if someone typed in my name, they can see all of my business posts, but they can't see any of my private stuff.
Okay. All right.
So
they can see that they're coming from a business page. Sorry.
You're good. No, so I have a personal Facebook that's private, and then we have a business page on Facebook, but I only manage one Instagram handle. I pretty much kind of separate my life then, where everything is a little bit more personal on Facebook. And then Instagram is a little bit more business driven. You rarely see my daughter unless it's just like a quick highlight. I think last night I had a video of her hoverboarding with my husband, which is a pretty regular thing in our household. But those highlights on a story, those disappear, and those are ones that we don't always save either. So I found that it was just a little easier to manage one handle for Instagram and kind of incorporate it more more family time, a little more day-to-day personal in my stories, and then much more business curated in the posts that are going to remain. And then Facebook is going to be private, and then just the business page.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
I have a quick question. How do you use your, so I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Okay, so we're human, right? And the reason why I haven't been as prominent on social media is because sometimes you just get tired of interacting with other people. How do you guys deal with, like, you know, making sure your mental health is good and making sure that you do spend time with your family and that, you know, you have a life outside of social media 24/7?
So I do create that content ahead of time. I just don't share it. And so when I'm actually sharing on my Instagram, I track myself so I don't go crazy. I spend less than an hour a day on my Instagram and Facebook. So I'm not spending a ton of time on there. And most of that time that I'm on there is either at night scrolling when I'm bored or having a conversation with somebody. So otherwise I post and then I comment on a few things and I get off. Like I'm not sitting there all day on it. And I made a point to do that. And that's exactly why I signed up for Modern Agent Social Club, because I did find myself really spending too much time trying to come up with ideas and going through people's other agents' pages and trying to collect ideas from them. But I didn't want to be a copycat either. So, you know, it's a really fine line if somebody copies you exactly and takes your exact post versus, you know, coming up with your own information. And it was like wearing me down. So for me, $60 a month or whatever I pay for Modern Agent Social Club is worth it, 100%.
Yeah, you definitely have to have some boundaries. I find that a lot of my commenting and interactions are going to be later in the night when I'm sitting scrolling like everybody else is. And it's only for maybe 30 minutes at a time. And then I move on from it. And then daytime is going to be, because you treat it like a job too. So it's going to be during the day, kind of like lunchish time when you're getting your posts ready and you send them off. And then you kind of like, I'll post and I just let it sit. I don't even come back and interact with it for a couple hours after I see how it's performed later in the day when I'm back on interacting with people. So boundaries are definitely healthy, especially when you use it. It's a marketing tool. So you have to be on it, but you have to give yourself those boundaries.
I'm the same way. Or if it's going to be more of, if I like, 'cause I always take a picture of a house when I'm going to go show it. I get to the showing just like 5 minutes early, so I quick get it done. Then I go in the showing and you walk away and you're done. But it can definitely consume your time, but you just need to know when to say, yep, that's enough, and just turn it off for the time being.
Okay, thank you guys.
I do want to mention something. I'll story a lot too on showings and at events. And with my page public, and I highly recommend noting this, especially women, but men too. If you're doing showings or out somewhere or whatever, try not to post in real time. Do it after you leave, because you don't really need the random strangers that are potentially stalking you, knowing exactly where you are at that very moment. You just don't know what's around the corner. So I would highly recommend that. And that's like, I've learned that in a couple of safety courses, is just don't post in real time with that kind of stuff. Just wait until you leave, take the picture, and then post it later or share it to your story later. That also saves time.
Well, I think we all learned so much from you ladies today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be sending out the recording with a recap and also your Instagram handles so everybody can follow you. And I just appreciate it. So have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.